Deep Threat Sports Network fans, welcome back. Hey, this week, just one episode for you. Since there's not a ton of games to talk about, and we talked last week, we want to keep this thing solely focused on the playoffs and not really get into the transfer portal and all those kinds of conversations because we could go down a rabbit hole for hours. So what we're bringing you tonight is we're going to review the last two football games, and then we're going to preview the national championship. And I'm here to tell you guys already, Nolan and Bryant are already screaming at each other in the lobby before we even go live about the Miami and Ole Miss football game. So we're just going to start right there, gentlemen. I'm not even going to ask you guys how you're doing because you guys are already fired up. We're just going to roll right into this thing and take off here. And we're going to talk simply about Miami versus Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami 31, Ole Miss 27. Bryant, Nolan, whichever one of you is more pissed off right now already, let's go ahead and take it. Just go ahead and go.
Go ahead, Bryant. No, you go.
Listen to him be nice.
All right.
Be nice now.
All right. So the backstory. Bryant and I were arguing in the lobby that he said, correct me if I'm wrong, Bryant, that Miami should have lost the game based on the way that they were playing. That's where I started to argue with him. Because if you look at time of possession, you look at who actually controlled the game, time of possession, total plays, all that stuff. Ole Miss and Miami might have had similar yardage, whatever, but Ole Miss scored or had 60% of their yards on 10 of their plays. If you just take out 2 chunk plays, Ole Miss isn't even in this game.
No, I agree with you. I should have worded that different. I meant to say Miami easily could have won this game by 3 scores, but the way they were playing, letting Ole Miss stay in the game whenever they could put their foot on their neck and be done, and they didn't. So that's what I was more getting at. But I agree with you. Ole Miss got all of their offense on explosives.
I'm not sure Miami is one of those teams that's going to blow people completely out if you have a really good offense like Ole Miss does. There's only a few teams in the entire nation that I would bet money to put up 27 points against Miami. Ole Miss is one of them. They will get explosive plays. It's just how many can you limit them to? Miami is not one of those teams that they're trying to score in 3 or 4 plays and then suffocate you on defense all over again. They are trying to do 12, 13, 14, 15 play drives. And if their defense, whoever they're playing against, if they're okay just sitting back and saying, take this 5-yard out route from Carson Beck, Mark Fletcher, take 4 yards here, 4 yards there, Miami is just ecstatic about it. And they're like, yeah, cool. This is the game we want to play anyway. I don't know why you guys are letting us do this.
Yeah, their run game literally is hitting on all cylinders right now. Colin and I talked, and I think we did too, a little bit in the group, is they literally could have ran the ball 95% of the time and probably won. Another point is due to the penalties, man. Like if they cut down those in half in this game specifically, they probably add another 10 points to their score too. So luckily, I think that's some stuff you can kind of address going into this game this coming Monday and try to be more disciplined as best as you can and just try to play as clean of a football game to give yourself the best chance.
I don't know this. I've never looked it up, but our Cristobal – do you guys maybe you guys know this already? Are Cristobal teams typically a pretty penalized team?
Yes.
I don't know that for a fact. So
yeah, he doesn't coach a very disciplined football team, and that was one thing that stood out to me tremendously in this football game. Like I remember watching it, I was just like, dude, Miami. It's going to be a damn shame if Miami loses this football game because they're the much better football team. They deserve to win this game because they are the better team. They have the better chance. Yeah, they are very undisciplined, which is not out of the norm for Cristobal and Miami as a whole. I like Leon's comment getting in here, though. I was never worried. LOL was a fantastic game. Leon, he's been talking about the Canes for 2 years on this show, so good for him. He gets to watch them in a national championship. And I agree with everything you guys said. Biggest thing, too, that Brian said that I totally agree with, it didn't matter. Like, if I was Miami, I would have never thrown the ball in this game. There was no need to. What you're doing on the ground, it was absolutely simple. It was just an absolute magnificent performance on the ground. So didn't have to do anything else. Carson Beck played okay. Wasn't entirely impressed by him. We've talked at length about how they got to take care of the football for them to win football games, not turn the ball over. He did do it one time, But hey, man, this was a really good performance by Miami as a whole, I guess you could say. I just did feel like it was going to start slipping away. The biggest thing for Ole Miss is Kewan Lacey was by far and away their strong point as a team. It felt like that way all season. Trinidad obviously was really good throughout the season too. Let's not sell him short in this game, because I'll be honest, when he got the ball in his hands on that last drive, like I was pulling for Miami for our book it segment and all those things, and I was like, there might be a chance that this dude actually does it. And credit to him, he drove him down the field in 13 seconds, and it came down to one play and a massive conversation piece of, was it passing interference? Was it not passing interference?
I want to address that real quick.
Go ahead.
Everybody watching, they will 99.9% of times they will never call a pass interference on a Hail Mary. It will never happen.
No.
And I had so many people personally ask me, why would you think that was pass interference? I saw it online. Like, they're never going to call pass interference on a Hail Mary ever.
All right, Colin, my turn to argue with you now too. Kewan Lacey is a superstar, sure, but the reason this game was so close, it's Trinidad Chambliss, and it's not even close. He is Superman the last 2 games. Man didn't make a bad decision in the last 2 games. He's the one that led him to the win last week or 2 weeks ago, and then led them all the way down to a Hail Mary here. Kewan Lacey is awesome, not taking anything away from him. Played through shoulder injury, ankle injury, all of the above. But it's Trinidad Chambliss. He continues to make every single good decision that you can possibly make.
That I don't disagree with in any way, shape, or form. I think my point is I felt like the team was different when Lacey was off the field battling that injury and he was off for lengths of time. I felt like they were kind of a different football team a little bit than when he's on the field. I think he makes them very two-dimensional, makes them a very dynamic team, and they can do a lot of things through Kewan Lacey, whether that be the RPO, the play action. He generates all those things. So I think to the point I was trying to make, is he is the difference maker when he's on the field for that football team.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. It's just such a big drop-off from Kewan Lacey to the backup.
Yes. And the other thing, too, in this football game, dude, Miami had the ball, I felt like, for 95% of the game. Like, I felt like
3/4 of the game.
It was legitimately 3/4 of the game. Every time I was looking at the TV, Miami had the ball. And that's what they wanted to do. Like, to your guys' point, they did exactly what they wanted to do. And Ole Miss kind of let them do what they wanted to do. And I can't go on without talking about Malachi Toney. You guys know me. I'm going to talk about him every chance I get. We have been since week 1 or 2. The dude is just an absolute legend. I mean, already. It is Jeremiah Smith and Malachi Toney for top receiver.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Colin. I think you said it midseason, like, this dude's the next Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
And he literally plays just like him. Like, it's almost kind of weird. The shiftiness. Yep. He's like about the same size. It seems like quite the comparison.
Jumps out of the gym as fast as shit.
Yeah, that little one-handed snag he had where he was barely out of bounds. That was insanity.
You want him to go across over the top of the defense, or you want him to catch the ball underneath and put everybody in a blender? Because he will do absolutely both. The dude is unreal, man. And honestly, too, credit to Keelan Marion becoming a massive point of emphasis in this football game. I mean, this dude got his name going here, and now he's going to become a talking point for whenever they play Indiana. So credit to him. Good for them for spreading the ball around. Was a damn good football game, very entertaining. A playoff game that we've been wanting for a long time, just because sometimes these games aren't entertaining, and they did a fantastic job at putting a good product on the field for us in that football game. Anything else from you guys on this one?
No, but speaking of not entertaining, let's switch to the next game.
Speaking of a not entertaining football game, and that is none other than the Peach Bowl of Oregon 22, Indiana 56. No one, go ahead here, because my notes aren't really that long.
So Oregon had 3 turnovers and then 2 turnover on downs. Indiana scored on all 5 of those possessions. That is, we harp on a lot of different things, but that is one of the things that we have talked about is you can't turn the ball over, and the team that gets the turnover is the benefactor of the turnover. You got to score off of it. I mean, that's all you needed in this game.
That's it.
Insane. I mean, this game was literally over after the first play, the pick six. I missed it. I was getting something to drink, I guess. I turned around and it's already 7-0. I was like, it was 14:54 on the clock.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana just doesn't seem like they make any mistakes. Mendoza can make all the throws right now. It's multitude of weapons. And the two running backs in Hemby and Black are literally – it seems like they're bruisers as well. At the same time, they're also kind of the scat back as well. They're like perfect all-purpose backs in the backfield, the both of them. And the defensive side of things, I said this on our preview show last week, their gap sound, they're right there. They gang tackle. It's literally – they're just so fundamentally sound football team, and it's showing right now because they're not playing with highly touted players, but they're looking like the best team in the country, bar none.
Yeah, this would be this would kind of debunk that whole I'm drawing a blank on his name. Nolan, you know him, the Florida State guy, the blue chip ratio guy.
Yeah, the Bud Elliott blue chip ratio. It would be the first team that has beat or defeated or gone against that ratio.
Yeah, won the national championship.
Stat.
Yep. Which the blue chip ratio, we talked about this earlier on in the offseason before we got in here, but just a reminder, blue chip ratio is talking about 4-star and 5-star recruits on your football team. Indiana is not one of those teams that has a high enough percentage of blue chip prospects on their team. And the theory behind the blue chip prospect ratio is that they always win national championships. Nobody else does. Indiana is giving that a run for its money, and it is solely because of two things. Now, I don't want to take credit away from anybody else, but it's solely because Signetti has this team and is coaching this team better than anybody's coaching a football team in college football right now. This is the most disciplined team. They do not make mistakes. They play the game the right way. They're getting the most from 11 guys on both sides of the ball at all time. They don't make mistakes on special teams. This team is just as sound as you can possibly be on a football field right now. And the other person is obviously Mendoza. I was wrong. Look, I'm wrong. I was wrong. I'm still wrong. Something tells me I still just can't believe it. But by God, I guess I got to believe it. I mean, if for 5 touchdowns against Oregon, there wasn't a throw the guy couldn't make on the football field. Fellas, I just don't even know what else to say, dude. Like, this is the most impressive run since the 2019 LSU team, and they can cap it off here. I just don't even know what else to say, man. People really thought that Oregon was going to keep this close, and Indiana just had something to say about it, man. They showed up from the first play, from the first snap, ready to go. They seem to always get pick sixes early on in the football game. D'Angelo Pons talked about him last season, talked about him in the offseason about being one of our Big Ten players to watch. We're still talking about him now as we go into a national championship game. They're just as good as it gets, man. I don't know what else to say about them. This game wasn't fun. It was an absolute that Jordan put in here. Did someone last week say belt to ass? It was belt to ass. There's no other way to put it.
Did you see D'Angelo Pons got an offensive snap in this game too? He got an end around, a handoff.
Yep, I saw that.
Dude's a freak with the ball in his hands, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Get the ball.
Also, other question related to the coaching. They always seem to be in the right place. Have you guys seen these new rumors? Nobody can prove anything by any means. I'm not saying they are, but have you seen these new rumors that people are like, listen, Indiana's got to be cheating somehow, some way. They have to be cheating because they always show up in the right spot at the right time. They know exactly who to cover. Mendoza knows exactly who to throw to, different things like that. That people are like, it's just nobody's ever seen this before.
There's heavy rumors about that, but I need some hardcore evidence, man.
Exactly. If you're going to come out with a cheating allegation, you need a lot of proof.
And there's a lot of people out there that will say stealing other team's signs is cheating. Personally, I don't think that's cheating. I think that's being advantageous and playing the game. If you're going to not change your signs up, I'm going to use them and use them against you. I think there's a little bit of that probably going on too, maybe. But I don't know. I think they're just that fundamentally sound and well coached more than I think cheating.
Hey, Leon says time travel. Maybe. I don't know, dude. We're about to find out. Look, let's just go ahead and transition right into the national championship because seriously, man, I hate sounding so negative. The damn Peach Bowl wasn't fun to watch. Oh, here we go. Marty.
One thing to add
Marty
to this whenever.
Yeah, real quick, Marty comes in here and knows I'm a Patriots fan and comes in here and says Patriots fans should know all about plenty about cheating, eh? Well played, man.
It's not wrong.
Maybe
We were just borrowing signs, Marty, as Bryant would say.
Just made this connection. Maybe Tom Brady's the one that told old Connor Stallions how to steal signs.
No,
getting some old Michigan stuff in there too.
What do you got, Bryant? What do you want to add?
I want to add one thing with Oregon real quick. Kind of seems like maybe Dante Moore played his own hand out of the draft a little bit. I'm sorry, I just saw the comment.
Is that Dave in the background? Yeah, hell yeah, he's celebrating Vanderbilt.
Oh, no.
Anyway, I think Dante Moore, how he played in this game, kind of played his own cards a little bit and really didn't. Personally, I don't think he made the right choice going back to school. But
we can have that conversation real quick.
The film he put in a big time game was not what he wanted to do.
We can have that conversation real quick. Dante Moore not going to the NFL draft is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Look, credit to him. Yeah. It's awesome for the sport. You get to keep these guys around. He comes back. He's got pride in his school. He wants to get better, all those things. There's only one way you can get better, and that's to go to 1-1 instead of 1-2. You were predicted to be the second pick in the draft, right behind Mendoza. And I don't think you're a second pick in the draft type player. I've kind of been on his ass and Mendoza's. I'll be right and wrong about both of them, I guess, I don't think he was a second pick caliber player. And I think this dude is absolutely crazy to not go get that bag real quick. He just clearly didn't want to play for the Jets, I guess.
See, that's why I think he's going back, though. I think whoever is telling him, like the NFL scout grades are like, hey, you're a borderline first round, second round pick. He was going to be propped up because of the lack of quarterbacks. And we have, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams in the NFL that all need a quarterback. To respond to this, I think it's going to help his development.
It will help his development.
He needs another year. He's not one of the finished products. He has made good decisions and bad decisions. This gives him another chance to start making more good decisions because you see it more and more in the NFL. Teams will take their rookie quarterback, top 10, and then you get thrown in there. There's no more of the sitting stuff that people used to do. And if you can't figure it out quick, you're gone to the next team. And if you're gone to the next team, typically it's as a backup or a one-year fill-in. Not everybody's like Baker Mayfield moving from team to team to team. And then all of a sudden he finds it on the fourth team that he gets put on.
Yeah, or Sam Darnold. But yeah,
it makes sense from that standpoint, but he was literally going to be a top 5 pick.
Oh, I agree.
Like if he could be costing themselves, he could be costing themselves millions of dollars.
He was fixing to have generational wealth based off what he put on tape so far. So,
what's Oregon paying him this year, though? I haven't seen any numbers.
I don't think they've released it. I've heard rumors that it's up there.
Because say we're talking about $2 million, $3 million to play next year at Oregon.
I've heard it's double that.
Even better. I'm going to be generous and just say 4. I'm not going to go up too high. Say he's getting $4 million to play next year for Oregon. He gets better development. 2.4, whatever number it is.
Jordan comes in and says, just read 2.4. Okay, we'll use and 4.8 he says now. Okay, the numbers aren't good. Just go ahead.
3 to 4 million, regardless. But you're telling me this guy's going to get paid 3 to 4 million to have a developmental year in college to start some more games. And there are some pretty good numbers, pretty good evidence, pretty good backing, whatever you want to say, of you need to be a 2-year starter with decent to good numbers to be a good quarterback with a long career in the NFL. If you have one, I know he started at UCLA, but that was an awful year.
Yeah, don't even
look at it. If you have 1 year, it's less of a chance that you are going to be a good long-term NFL quarterback. So in the grand scheme of things, say going this year, he gets more money, but he only plays 5 years compared to coming back 1 year and he gets to play for 10 to 15 years. You make more money in the long run. It's kind of betting on yourself long-term, just not right now.
He's definitely betting on himself.
I think what stands out to me the most on this is it shows like his maturity. I think it shows that he's a very mature young man looking to make the right decision that he feels for himself. And yeah, you can get paid millions of dollars now to play college football, so that helps, right? That helps influence and keep you around. I just still think that you're passing up generational. Hey, look, I'm all for it. I'm all for another year of Dante Moore. I think it's hilarious that Dylan Raiola is now about to be a backup on Oregon. I think the whole story's hilarious. But I also think that next year's draft class at the quarterback position is much better than what they are this year. So that's where I think it's going to hurt him. But
Yep.
Like he could potentially slide from top 5 this year to 3rd, 4th round.
Yes.
Next year, unless if you know.
I don't know about 3rd, 4th round. If he has a good year, he'll go 2nd round.
Yeah.
He may still be a first rounder next year. He's going to slide off.
He can win the Heisman next year, as far as we know.
He can win the Heisman next year. There's a lot that can still happen.
Evan Stewart's back next year.
Hey, they're going to be really good on offense still. So I don't blame him necessarily. I just think it's crazy. You don't usually see those things. Let's move on to the national championship, though. That's why we're here. We all season long. That's why we did these things. I'm going to be the first to admit it. Nobody on this network had Miami versus Indiana in the national championship. So if any of us tell you that we did, somebody on the show is lying. None of us had that. Not even remotely close to Miami, Indiana preseason. Obviously, we do all our picks. We do all those things. We have a lot of fun with it. We put information out there based on our research. And this is showing the parity in college football nowadays. And this game is Monday the 19th, 6:30 p.m. on ESPN. Indiana minus 8.5 right now, over under 47.5. Fellas, I just don't know what to think about this game. I know what direction I lean, but I'm anxious to see that this argument that's fixing to happen, because no one and myself really need Brian to convince us to not bet 8.5 for Miami.
Brian, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. I think for Miami to have a chance in this game, they're going to have a similar game plan that they had versus Ole Miss. And it's
hold on. Can I stop you already? To have a chance?
No, I'm serious.
What?
Indiana is.
Oh, and I'm serious.
This game is not going to be close.
Oh my gosh. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
And that's not a knock on Miami. This Indiana is firing on all cylinders right now. And like I said, they're going to have to lean on their defense. And like they have all season, this is probably the best defense that Indiana has played to this point, for sure, especially on front seven on the defensive side for Miami. And then on offense, they're going to have to run the ball consistently like they did against Ole Miss and control the ball. But I don't think that's going to happen, because Indiana's defense, yeah, they're not as sized like Miami's offensive line. But like I mentioned against Oregon, they're going to be gap sound. They're going to be disruptive in the backfield and rush the passer. Carson Beck's not going to be able to evade these guys and run the ball, and they're going to lock you down on the outside. Malachi Tony is going to have an absolute insane game, and Mark Fletcher is going to have a great game as well for them to have a chance to cover this or even possibly win. And on the defensive side of the ball, good luck, because, yeah, Miami's defense is very good. They're going to have to somehow get to for Mendoza, which Indiana's offensive line has done such a good job protecting him. But he has so many weapons to lean on. He can even make plays with his legs himself, as we've seen in recent games. And so I just think they're too dynamic on offense for Miami to be able to stop them consistently in this game.
Go ahead, Nolan.
All right, my first question. Indiana protects him so well, huh? How did Oregon get so much pressure? Miami's defensive line is better than Oregon's. Am I wrong in that one?
No, you're right.
Indiana, so I was looking up some of the different pressure rates because I thought the exact same thing. Indiana protects him well. I think Mendoza slides in the pocket really well is part of what helps the offensive line keep him up. They're really good. I'm not trying to take it away from him, but I think the combination of Mendoza and the offensive line is what keeps him up so well. Mm-hmm. The only thing I will say about Indiana's offensive line, the majority of their pressures have come off of the right tackle. I know Indiana sometimes keeps in the tight end, the running back, or both, and they'll go a seven-man protection, and they'll only send a few dudes out on the route. But if you're going to do that and you're going to ask 3 dudes to go against Miami secondary, their secondary is really freaking good. Indiana comes down with almost every 50-50 ball, there's no way it can continue. It's 50-50 for a reason. It can't continue happening that against Oregon, they just went 5 for 5.
Talking a little bit about Miami's secondary, though, Xavier Lucas is out the first half.
We know that Miami's secondary is not going to catch the ball.
That's no shit.
That's fine, because if you get in obvious passing down situations, you can't keep extra people in for protection because Miami knows they're going to throw the ball. So you got to keep a dump route or a hot route, whatever. So if you get in 3rd and 7, and they just started this 2 weeks ago, Mesidor and Bain on the same side pass rushing, there is nobody in college football that can block that correctly.
No, and Mesidor's supposedly completely healthy for this game. Like I said, Xavier Lucas is out the first half from that targeting hanging over, which was a bullshit targeting call. I'll stand on that still. Out in the first half of this game. So, yeah, I was a little bit indifferent, but I'm with Nolan on this, man. I think Miami has a real chance. I don't know if Indiana can block Miami the whole football game. This is the best front seven they've faced all season. And to your point, Nolan, Mendoza is good in the pocket. He's really good about stepping up in the pocket. But this Miami pass rush is so good, they're not going to allow you just to step up in the pocket all night long. They get home with just 4 guys most of the time. So
the only person they really bring on a blitz is their safety, Keontae Scott. I want to say he's number 0. Dude is an animal. He's like 6 foot, like 185, but he comes in like a missile out of nowhere.
I do think, though, that this Miami has to keep this game kind of like the Ole Miss game. They got to limit possessions, hold on to the ball a lot of the time, long methodical drives, gain positive yards on first down all game long, really lean into Mark Fletcher and allow him to chip away, like I said, on first and second down, make it manageable on third down, keep their offense on the field, because Indiana clearly doesn't mind having a shootout with anybody. And that's where things could get nasty. You don't want to turn the ball over. We've once again, harping on the Carson Beck turnover thing. Indiana thrives off turnovers. Miami thrives on losing football games off turnovers. That is a bad recipe. If Miami starts to turn the ball over, even once, things are going to get a little bit ugly. Don't let that happen. Play second.
Also has a little bit of a fumbling problem here.
That is, yes. And don't play clean, man. Don't have all the penalties you had against Ole Miss. Indiana is not a team that's going to allow you to make those mistakes. If Miami can play a clean bill of football, and Mark Fletcher can have the run game working just 75% of the way it has so far this postseason, this playoffs, they're going to be in this football game, Brian. They're going to be in this football game. I'm not saying they're going to win it. They're going to be in this game.
I think my concern for Miami is not really their defense. I think it's them being able to score. I just think Miami's going to Indiana's going to shut them down, and Beck's going to make some mistakes.
So how many points do you think Indiana is able to score on Miami then and has to get to cover this spread?
Cover the spread?
Like, do you think Indiana can get to 20 on Miami's defense and cover the spread at 20?
No.
So 20.
I think this game is going to be like 38-17.
Oof.
Personally.
See, I'm not. I think Miami and Indiana both at their core, they want to run the ball and they want to push on you all game. I think this game is going to be like each team gets 5 possessions, and let's see who can maximize the most out of those 5 possessions. I don't think it's going to be like a huge shootout where it's, each team's getting 8-9 possessions and we're seeing like a 45, 30-something game. I think 24 points is what you got to get to win this game for either team.
I feel it's low scoring too, but the only thing that keeps knocking me back on my heels with this football game is I have been wrong on like every Indiana bet so far this season except this last week. And now I'm going right back against them again. But I don't know. And then that conversation piece comes into play again. Like, we've had it multiple weeks. Does Mario show up and do Mario things? When does that come into effect? Does that happen here? Signetti is clearly the better coach, and there's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Mario Cristobal, for as much as we make fun of him, these last 3 weeks, he's called such good, smart games. And I really hope that they took our advice and he just doesn't get any more in-game calls, and it's just the offensive and defensive coordinator making all these calls.
It all should be.
That's exactly how it should be. But it is a big change from middle of the season when they lost to, was it Louisville and SMU?
Yep.
Bonehead decisions on play calls, timeouts, just clock management. These last 3 games have been awesome.
Yeah, definitely clean that up.
This is Miami leaning into the fact of everything we said all season long. They have the best line of scrimmage in the country. Lean into it. Really utilize it. Make it a point of emphasis on how you win football games. What they have to do in this football game to win it, to have a chance to do all those things. I think 8.5 is too many points. I think 8.5 is too many points. I know the line before this game became the actual game, whenever they were in the semis. This hypothetical line, if Miami and Indiana met in the national championship, was half of what this line is right now. And I think it got inflated so much because everybody saw what Indiana came out and did to Oregon, and it got bought up a lot. I think this line should be more around the 4-5 point mark. Now, when we come back next week, there's a chance that Nolan and I got to look at Bryant and say, yeah, I don't know how we missed that. You were right. But I'm 80% sure that Miami's in this game. And you guys will also see that are listening to us right now that there's not going to be a play on the spread on the Book It segment in this game because clearly we're all so indifferent. And truly, I feel like I don't know. I can't speak for them too, I guess. I'm a little indifferent and teetering back and forth on what I think could happen here. Bryant sounds pretty dead set, and so does Nolan. But I'm rocking the boat back and forth.
When you say decision on who's going to win the game, because it sounds like I'm very pro Miami. Boys, if you don't know me, I hate Miami. I hope they lose this game, and I think Indiana's going to win. I just think it's going to be less than an 8.5 point spread.
Yeah. No, I'm with that.
And I personally think it's 2 touchdowns plus.
Sure.
And that, for your sake to be right, I hope it happens. But I hope it doesn't happen. I want to see a competitive game. I want to see a Miami Ole Miss type football game. Make it fun. I don't want to see an Indiana Oregon football game again. I'm done with that.
Yeah, I think Miami's going to make some mistakes and give Indiana a short field, and then they're going to be able to score like that.
Personally, Colin, I don't want it to be competitive. I hope Indiana wins by 40.
I know you do, but I don't want to watch that. Leon comes in.
I'd be so happy.
Leon comes in and says, Miami points in the under. Book it. Love it, Leon. Well, if that's the case, you guys got anything else in this football game?
Just the X factor. I have one for each team. Indiana, I think it's going to be Charlie Becker and Elijah Sherratt. Like I said, they come down with every 50-50 ball. If there's 6 50-50 balls in this game and Indiana wins 4 out of the 6, I could see Brian's prediction coming true. I just don't think it's going to be over that 50% mark. And then for Miami, I think their X factor is going to be Mark Fletcher. Bryant said it best. Indiana tackles and plays the run game as a team. Mark Fletcher, you have to run over a couple of defensive backs in this game, and it's not going to be a run over and fall forward for 6. It has to be a run over, and I need 28 yards. Get caught from behind, I don't care. But I need you to run over and continue for another 20 yards. I think that is really what it comes down to for the 2 X factors. I have no questions about either defense. It's just offensively, is Miami going to impose their will? Is Indiana going to come down with every 50-50 ball again?
Yeah, mine would be CJ Daniels. I think Mark Fletcher as well. I like that. Mine's going to be CJ Daniels if I had to pick one for Miami because we know what we get out of Malachi Toney. I think we know that we can rely on Mark Fletcher. I think we saw that Marion became a big point of emphasis in this last week. Elijah Lofton, the tight end for Miami, I don't think is going to play in this game. That does suck for Miami. I do like what he brings to the table. But, yeah, mine would be CJ Daniels. Just let there be somebody else that can go out there and get the job done if A, B, and C aren't kicking on all cylinders because they're getting covered up pretty well. So I like what you did there. Anything else here?
No,
Nope.
sir.
All right. Well, then to Leon's point, we're going to get over to the Book It segment. And I want everybody to know that this has been a grind. We got this thing back to 100 and 100, and it couldn't have come at a better time. The Book It segment is dead even. 200 picks on the year. We're 100 and 100. Makes it a ton of fun, and especially since there is so much going on back and forth in our predictions right now on what we think is going to happen in this football game. So what we did, we didn't make a pick on the over, under, or the spread. We made it fun. Bryant, tell the people what our first play in the Book It segment is to wrap up the season.
We have our first play of the season. We talked about him a lot in this preview tonight. Malachi Toney, over 59.5 receiving yards. He damn near hit that on one play last game. Could easily do it again. He's going to be heavily targeted. Was out a little bit for injury last game, it seemed like, but he came right back after a big hit. So I don't question his toughness. I like this play a lot. Like I mentioned, could easily pop this off at one time, but going to have plenty of opportunities to rack up this yardage on chunk plays and a lot of targets.
Boy, he got rocked on that play too, dude. Dude got lit. Yeah. Most receivers aren't getting back up from that one. All right, Bryant, that makes us 101 and 100. I got confidence in that. The last play of the Book It segment for the season for Deep Threat Sports Network here is Charlie Becker, over 2.5 receptions. This guy he's really came on strong in the second half of the season. We've kind of rode his coattails here on some prop plays as of late. This dude high points the football as good as anybody in the country, comes down with the ball more times than not, to Nolan's point earlier. We love that Mendoza targets him a lot now, has become a huge point of emphasis for this offense. Give us Charlie Becker, over 2.5 receptions. Book it. Fellas, we made it. We just need 102 and 100 would be the most fantastic way to end this, because we have scratched and clawed all damn season long to keep this thing around 500, because we have said it before. We felt like this was the hardest season to bet in college football in quite some time. The parity is there. All these teams are switching things up so often. All the transfer guys coming from team to team has made it really, really difficult this season. Where you saw us last year, we were 13 or 15 games over 500, and this year we got our life vest on. At one point, we were calling it the faded segment. We had floaties on. We didn't know what to do. We were hiding Dave and Nolan from the group. We didn't know what to do. Like, we were trying anything to make it work. But damn it, we are here. We're pounding the table. We have made it. It's time to get over 500 to end this thing. Fellas, it's been a ton of fun. You guys got anything else here for us before we get out of here?
Kind of crazy we hit 500, especially how we started off really slow, and also all the horrible beats we had this season.
Oh, man.
Some of those were just unbelievable, to say the least. Like, to highlight the worst beat of the season, we had 2 lose each other within a span of 15 real-world seconds on game-winning plays by the teams we didn't want. So that was the highlight of the worst beats of the year. But, yeah, we had to scratch and claw to get to 500 where we're at.
Dude,
so,
Brian, it was so bad. Barstool Sports is tweeting, somewhere out there somebody has a friend that just lost these 2 games at the same time. Yeah, that was us. That was us. That was us. What we need to do is we need to go back and review all. Like, we need to have an episode where we just talk about the bad beats of the season. Like, put together a top 10 highlight reel that just scrolls on our live video of the worst plays and worst beats you could have had in your lifetime. Because I felt like every week we came in here, we're like, dude, that's the worst beat of my lifetime. Next week, that's actually the worst beat of my lifetime. It just was never ending, man. Anything else, fellas?
No, sir. Nope. Just happy to watch some more football on Monday.
Hey, everybody that's listened to us all season long, thanks for rolling with us. We will be back next year. We're not going away. We've had tons of fun doing this. We're super pumped that no one got to join us this season. Love having another guy come in here and talk football with us. Has been awesome. We are not going anywhere in the offseason either. We're going to put together an outline of what we all want to do. We'll probably come back, review next week, probably hop in pretty quick with a transfer episode, have some fun with that stuff, because we know that's what you guys all want to hear. It's all really good stuff and very knowledgeable and great to get out to you guys and give some backstories on some of those things. May take a break for about a week or two, and try to figure out what we want to do the whole offseason, man. That part of the season sucks, but we're going to make sure try to make it fun, give tons of good content still, and make sure you guys are still enrolling with us. So we appreciate it. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, telling your friends, doing all those things to help us out. We will be back. We will see you guys next week. Make sure you enjoy this last football game of the 2025 season. It's been tons of fun, fellas. That's Bryant. That's Nolan. I'm Colin. This is Deep Threat Sports Network. You can follow us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Deep Threat Sports, Facebook, Deep Threat Sports Network, X, DT_sports_. Bryant, Nolan. Until next time, gentlemen. Peace.